And girls, it is September 1st, 2020. Now the school year has already started in and we're doing virtual, and I've decided I'm going to start kicking back in and reading stories and loading them up on YouTube, and also they'll be loaded up on my Google Classroom. So the link to the YouTube books that I'm reading. Starting today, we're going to be reading the Hopper series, and the Hopper is a group of, guess what, rabbits that go through all different types of adventures. So today we're going to be reading a story called The Hoppers Start School. So I hope you guys enjoy this. The Hoppers Start School. The Hoppers were asleep in their bed when suddenly Mother Hopper calls, "Wake up, Hoppers! It's the first day of school." Three of the Hoppers didn't want to wake up early, but Fluffy Tail got up. "Wake up, Speedy Legs, Floppy Ears, wake up, Stubby Nose. It's the first day of school." Finally, all four Hoppers were out of bed. They went downstairs to eat their breakfast, and Stubby Nose slid. "You better hurry, you'll be late for school," said Mother Hopper. The Hoppers began to eat their oatmeal, but the oatmeal was very hot. When Stubby Nose ate his, he burned his mouth. "Oh," he howled, "the oatmeal is too hot." "Quick, take a drink of water, Stubby Nose," said Speedy Legs. "Swallow some milk," said Floppy Ears. "If you don't finish your oatmeal quickly, you'll be late for school," said Fluffy Tail. "I made your lunches for you. I put them in your lunch boxes," Mother Hopper said. The Hoppers leapt up and grabbed their lunch boxes. But when Stubby Nose got his lunch, it was in a plain brown paper bag. "Mother, why don't I have a lunch box?" Stubby Nose asked. "I could not find your lunch box, Stubby Nose. You must have lost it," said Mother Hopper. Then Stubby Nose cried even more loudly than when he burned his mouth. "There's no more time for crying, Stubby Nose," Mother Hopper said. "You have to get to school before the bell." The four Hoppers started out on the road to school. Still, Stubby Nose sniffled and cried. "You have to stop crying, Stubby Nose. We'll miss the last bell," said Floppy Ears. "You were playing in the garden with your lunchbox. We can clean it out and put your lunch in it tomorrow," said Speedy Legs. "I hear the bell. We'll have to hurry if we want to get to school," cried Fluffy Tail. The three Hoppers began to run down the path toward school. They left Stubby Nose behind. He didn't want to run. He was upset about his mouth and his lunchbox, and now he was late for school. And the other Hoppers had left him behind. He sat down on the side of the path and cried quietly to himself. "What's this crying on the first day of school?" a voice said. Grandpa Grizzly had came up from the path and sat down next to Stubby Nose. "Today's the first day of school," said Stubby Nose, "but I burned my mouth on some hot oatmeal. Then I left my lunchbox in the garden, and I couldn't take it to school. When I cried, the other Hoppers told me I'd be late. They heard the bell ring and they ran on ahead." Grandpa Grizzly put his paw on Stubby Nose's shoulder. "There's only one thing to do when things go bad," he said, "and that's to keep going." He walked Stubby Nose down the path toward school. "Look at the pretty fall leaves, Stubby Nose. Why don't you put some in your pocket to take to school?" said Grandpa Grizzly. The red and yellow leaves were falling all around them. Stubby Nose filled his pockets. "See the pretty flowers by the side of the road? Why don't you pick a bunch for your teacher?" said Grandpa Grizzly. Stubby Nose picked the pretty yellow flowers. Soon he had forgotten about his troubles. "Here's the school," said Grandpa Grizzly, "and I think I see the other Hoppers." Fluffy Tail, Floppy Ears, and Speedy Legs were all waiting in front of the school. They waved when they saw Stubby Nose. Before Stubby Nose ran to join them, Grandpa Grizzly stopped him. "Do you feel better, Stubby Nose?" Grandpa Grizzly asked. "Yes," said Stubby Nose. "If you feel bad again, remember the fall leaves and the flowers. Remember that you can feel better all by yourself," Grandpa Grizzly said as he took a shiny red apple out of his pocket and gave it to Stubby Nose. "Thank you, Grandpa Grizzly," cried Stubby Nose. Stubby Nose ran toward the other Hoppers. They went inside the school just as the last bell rang.